Hello and welcome back to another episode of Eager English. As you can see, the environment has changed, but that doesn't mean that you won't get another episode of Eager English. So we are back and we're continuing, and today's verb is going to be to put. Now, to put means to move or place in a particular position. So if I grab something and move it there, I put it there. To put is also a phrasal verb when you add these prepositions. Now, before we move on to the phrasal verb definitions of to put, I'm going to explain how this video is going to go. So in the beginning of the video, I'm going to explain the easier phrasal verb definitions of to put in the beginning of the video, and I'm going to slowly progress into the harder definitions. But that doesn't mean you can't understand them. It's just they're used in tighter contexts. Now let's get to the phrasal verbs. So the first phrasal verb of to put is to put aside. So to put aside literally means, if you think about it, it means to put to the side. But its actual definition is to forget or to not care much about something. So to put aside is used more figuratively than literally. For example, I think it'd be better if we put this school stuff aside and take a break. So let's forget about the school stuff and let's take a break. Forget about it. Just put it aside. Next phrasal verb is to put away. Now, to put away means to store. That's all it means. So, for example, if I hadn't put the glass away, the kids would have shattered it all by now. So, if I had not stored glass, then the glass would have been broken because the kids would have shattered it. Now the next verb is to put out. To put out means to extinguish. And extinguish more or less means to stop. For example, fire extinguishers put fires out. Now a fire extinguisher is that. And fire extinguishers put fires out. That's the entire purpose. It's to stop fires. Next one, to put together. Now, to put together means to assemble. The first definition is to assemble something, to construct something. For example, my mom just asked if we could put her new desk together. So, the desk came in many parts. Now, let's put it together. Let's assemble her desk. The second definition is to understand. Now, honestly, we don't use this as much as you would think, but it's still good to know the definition of to put together. For example, you put this information together really well, which means you make this information very understandable. Moving on to the next one is to put down. So to put down also has two definitions. It has the literal and it has the figurative. So the first one, which is the literal one, means to move something downwards. If I put something down, it means I move something from up to down. For example, put that phone down when I'm talking to you. You might hear this from parents a lot. Put that phone down. Put it down. Stop using it. The second definition means to euthanize or to safely kill. That's what euthanize means. Euthanize. So, for example, it was a very tough decision, but we eventually put down our dog, Max. So usually when people talk about euthanizing their pets or safely killing them, they use the verb to put down because it's much softer and it's a lighter way of saying to euthanize. It sounds not as inhumane. Now the next phrasal verb is to put up with. Now this phrasal verb needs the double preposition up with. So the definition is to tolerate someone. For example, every weekend I have to put up with my little cousins. Put up usually has a negative connotation, so putting up with somebody, it's like, I have to talk to you, I have to do stuff with you that I don't want to do. Next phrasal verb, to put through. So to put through means to do something because of somebody. So it's kind of like forcing someone to do something. For example, they were put through very straining challenges. So somebody put these people through straining challenges. They made them do something that was straining. Second example, what did I put myself through? So this means, what did I have to do? What did I do to myself? So to expand on the example, if I took on a project, if I accepted a project from somebody else, but it was a really hard project, then in the end, I might have a good reward, but it was a lot of work. So why did I put myself through that? Why did I force myself to go through this process? So to put somebody through, you can put yourself through, you can put others through it too. The next one, to put towards. Now, to put towards seems like it would have a literal to put towards, but it's purely figurative. The definition is to contribute financially. So think of it as putting money towards something, but it's helping the organization or whatever. For example, do you think you would mind putting $50 towards helping animals at the shelter? That being the animal shelter. So do you think you would mind contributing or donating $50? The next one, to put off. So to put off means to postpone something. It means to delay an event. That's all it means. For example, I prefer to put off what we have until next week. So this sentence is a little ambiguous, but it means I prefer to delay the event that we talked about, that we planned, until next week. Let's put it off until next week. It doesn't mean to cancel, it just means to move something to a later date. Now the last phrasal verb, which is undoubtedly the hardest phrasal verb, but don't worry, I'm going to explain it all very thoroughly. So hang on. So let's start with the first definition out of 3 for this one phrasal verb. So let's go. To put on means to gain weight. Simple. To gain weight. So for example, her parents always remind her if she puts some on. So in this example, the context is clear. Her parents always remind her that she put some weight on. The context is usually obvious. So if she put some on, that means she gained weight. She put some weight on her. Now, the second definition means to wear something. It's probably the easiest of the 3 definitions to understand. Now, the example is, don't forget to put on your gloves. Put them on. It could be anything, any piece of clothing. Put your hat on, put your shirt on, put your gloves on, put your shoes on, anything. Now, put on can also have a figurative sense, not a definition, just a figurative sense. For example, Jordan put on a smile to show his appreciation. So it means that he put it on, he's wearing a smile. You can easily say with this example, Jordan smiled to show his appreciation. But if you want to use some advanced vocabulary, which is the reason you guys are here for, then you would use to put on a smile. The next and the last definition for to put on is to deceive someone. So to put on, as in deceiving someone, is very colloquial. It's used as like very slang word type. So for example, he told me to tell you that he was putting you on. Usually in these contexts, it means that he made you think that he liked you. He deceived you. In Spanish, he te engañó. It just means to deceive. It means to fake. So to put someone on. Very colloquial, but a good one. Phew, that was a lot of phrasal verbs and a lot to keep track of. But I believe in you guys. And let's just strengthen your knowledge and strengthen your understanding with some exercises. Of course, who doesn't love exercises? So here are the exercises. And pause the video and solve them, and we'll come back. All right, we're back. So the first exercise, being in a relationship is a lot of work. Are you sure you can put with that? So the first sentence implies difficulty, implies something that you have to deal with, something that you have to endure. And there's only one phrasal verb, which is to put up with. So are you sure you can put up with that? Are you sure you can handle the difficulty? It's a very good sentence to use in a very strenuous situation. Second one, is there ever a right time to put down your pet or to put your pet down? The reason for this is because to put down is almost always used with animals. So when you euthanize something, it's usually an animal. So if you didn't know that, now you know. It's an animal, it has to do with an animal, so it's to put the animal down, unfortunately. The third one, I've been trying to put some, but it doesn't seem to be working. So the sum should give you a clue to weight, to put on some weight. So I've been trying to put some on, but it doesn't seem to be working. And in the context, it should be obvious, I've been trying to put on some weight. People struggle with that, putting on weight, because that's metabolism, who knows. Next one, I would never put you that. Now, if you got this, very good job. It implies force. I would never put you through that. I would never force you to do that. Expression time. Oh, don't you love expressions after having so many phrasal verbs thrown at you? But it's okay, because these are good ones. And you'll be surprised. So, let's go with the first one. To put oneself together. This is probably my favorite one out of the expressions. It means to act more appropriately. It's a little difficult to understand, but once it's put in context, you understand. And here's your context example. I know you lost your friend a couple of months ago, but you need to start putting yourself together. So in this context, to put yourself together means to change your bad habits, to change what you've been doing. What you've been doing has probably been very sad and hasn't been doing anything good for you. So you need to put yourself together. You need to start doing what you used to do. Get back to work. Get back in a happy mood. Can be kind of a little brutally honest, but it works. The next one is to put down. To put down? I thought we already did to put down. Isn't to put down to euthanize? To kill? No. This is more of an expression, kind of more slangy to put down. It means to make someone feel worse, to feel sad, to feel worthless. For example, why do you always put others down? If you put others down, that means you talk bad to them, you insult them, you're not nice. Next one, to put on the line. So, no, does not mean to put on the line. It is very figurative, and it means to risk something or someone. It depends on the context, but it means to risk. For example, it was a very dangerous mission. I had to put everything on the line. So this mission caused me to risk everything. Risk my family, risk my life, risk my house, risk everything. Now, the last expression of the day. The last expression is to put it past someone. Now, it can also be to put something past someone, but 90% of the time, 99% of the time, it's to put it past someone. It already implies the action. The definition is to not be surprised by something that somebody did. Little tough, isn't it? So, let's see if you understand with the example. I wouldn't put it past them if they were doing something bad right now. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they were doing something bad. This expression carries a very, very negative connotation. It means I'm thinking bad of somebody. I'm not surprised because they do this all the time. You could replace it with a verb. I wouldn't put stealing past them. That means I wouldn't be surprised if they were stealing. Pretty complex, huh? But it's doable, totally doable. To put something past someone, to not be surprised, not surprised. A little sarcastic. Now that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for sticking around. That was crazy. After you've understood all of these phrasal verbs, definitions, and examples, you can put this aside and go enjoy your life studying English somewhere else on my channel, of course. Don't put aside asking for explanations, asking for clarifications, suggesting anything in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like button for more similar content. Great day, everyone. I'm going to enjoy this woody environment until the next video.